I had one that was like a Long Island, like slushy kind of thing. It was like in a bag.
Oh.
You can mix it up. And
Like a plastic bag?
like a drink bag, I guess. I don't know.
What's a drink bag?
A bag that.
Ray, thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate it.
Of course, right in my neighborhood.
Oh, we have our amazing food on the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You know, I've never tried cauliflower wings.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you've never had cauliflower before.
Mm-mm.
Never had cauliflower wings. Well, so this is your first foray into that. I can't speak. I'll try one with you in solidarity to see, because I have had quite a few.
Have you?
Not to brag, but I have had a few cauliflower wings in my day. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
That's good.
While I try this.
I don't think they replace like wings, but it's good. You know, if I didn't eat chicken, I wouldn't mind eating those.
What I do love about these is that I think, to your point, I don't think these are really trying to say, "Hey, gotcha."
Yeah, we're replacing. Yeah.
But these are very flavorful, very nice. I like the seasoning.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm happy.
Nice texture too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. Well, please enjoy.
All right, let's get it.
Now, Ray, you're in New York now. But you are from San Jose.
San Jose Bay Area, yeah.
Yes, and very, very proud of that. Makes a lot of feature in your music. But I'm curious if there are any kind of food spots out there that now that you're here you get nostalgic about, or you kind of miss or want to revisit.
Yeah, I miss all the Vietnamese food. That's like highly accessible in San Jose. It's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Mexican food, you know, it's everywhere out there. You can go to like a little taco truck or a late night spot. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is good Mexican food out here, but it's not as like abundant and available, I think. You know, I almost have to go out of my way to find something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you haven't been here super long yet, so I'm keeping hope alive that we find you, and we can put feelers out so we can find you your spots.
Yeah, let me know.
Are there any places in particular that deserve a shout out?
In San Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's the popular like Iguanas and La Victoria. There's Corona Taqueria in Japantown.
What are your favorite tacos to get? Do you have like a
chicken
order?
Fish taco, like some grilled chicken, some fish. I don't eat beef or pork, so kind of limited to my diet, I guess.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
I think for me, I'm vegetarian. I think sometimes in the way that I order, that makes life a lot easier when you don't have a million options.
True, yeah.
Because I don't know if you do, I can get very overwhelmed and then not know what to choose. But then sometimes when it's tailored down for me, inadvertently, it makes my life a little bit easier.
I hate it when you're like, you see something, you order something else, and you wish you would have got the first thing you saw. You know what I mean?
Oh, like buyer's remorse or something?
Yeah.
Oh no, does that happen quite often for it to make a mark on you, or?
I've learned to like go with my first choice. You know, like the first thing I saw, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with that.
Follow your gut.
You know, and not be like finicky about it. You know what I mean?
That's how you kind of ordered today too.
I did,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep looking, but I was just like,
But you knew.
I'm gonna try it out.
You knew.
You know?
Okay.
If you see chicken and waffles, you gotta try it out.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Roscoe's? And is the hype real? Because it's something I've never been able to partake in, unless all of a sudden I started eating chicken. It's one of Snoop Dogg's most absolute favorite places.
Yeah. It's good.
Lives up to the hype?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it depends what you order, but it's really good.
What do you order? Or what? I mean, there's so many variations of things there.
It's like the chicken breast with biscuits. I don't get the chicken and waffles at Roscoe's. I have though. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, One day, or if they ever do like a cauliflower waffles, maybe I'll be able to.
Roscoe's Cauliflower and Waffles.
Yeah, it may not be as easy of a sell, but
Yeah.
they may get a whole new clientele. We don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Okay, Roscoe's.
Yeah.
Wink. Like, let's see what happens. In one of your songs, F You Tony, off your latest album, Artist in a Pandemic, you shout out peanut butter on oxtail.
Like a Molotov cocktail, saying kid wrong like peanut butter on oxtail.
So, if I'm not mistaken, kare kare,
Yeah.
is that,
Yeah.
that's kind of a classic Filipino dish. Is that something that you grew up eating?
Yeah, so my mom used to make kare kare all the time. My grandfather used to love it. I stopped eating like beef and pork when I was a teenager, so I don't get it as much, but it's like a very like staple like Filipino dish.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you caught that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Were there other kind of influential classic things, foods and dishes that you grew up eating? Because I know you said that where you grew up in your community, you guys were kind of the only Filipino family there.
Yeah.
So was it more important even then to kind of keep a lot of those cultural foods thriving in the household? Did any of the other community influences and foods kind of infuse into practices later on?
Well, at home it was like, it wasn't something that my mom was like trying to do. It was just like, oh, this is the food we make, so this is what we're gonna eat. You know?
Right.
So like chicken and pork adobo, sopas, which is like chicken with like pasta and like kind of soupy. Arroz caldo, like, you know, beef
What is
steak.
that?
Yeah, arroz caldo is like a rice porridge kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it savory, sweet, both?
A little bit of both. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. More savory though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So a lot of those like staple Filipino dishes, you know, like fish, you know what I mean, all those,
Yeah.
you know. But it wasn't really something like I feel like my parents were intentionally like, we're gonna keep this, you know, like we're gonna do this because we're holding on to our culture. It was just like survival, just trying to feed the family, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. It was just a part of daily practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you ever have a hand in any of the cooking? Is it something you did as a kid, or is it something you
Later,
enjoy
I
doing
think
now?
I just used to have to make rice. You know, like my mom would call me to make the rice. I make the rice and do the thing. So
Rice is actually, I've learned, because I've been under the tutelage of a very experienced rice maker, that rice is, surprisingly or not, one of those foods that a lot of people think is very easy, but it's actually very hard to get right.
yeah,
Would you agree with that?
I would. Yeah, and it depends on the kind of rice too. So like,
Okay.
like we always made like the long grain jasmine rice. And also my mom has like this real like fancy, expensive, I don't know if it's expensive, but it's a real fancy like rice cooker.
Ooh.
It's not like the $20 one you get at Target or something, you know what I mean?
Wow. So what did this one do? Did it
I
like
feel
wash
like-
the dishes as well?
No, I feel like you just have more room for like a little bit of error. You know, you put a little bit too much or too little water, it still comes out good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
But it's important, you know, you gotta wash it a few times and do the little finger measurement. You know what I mean?
That's what he preaches as well.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so yeah, it's not a what do they call it? A gate-kept secret, but it's just something that I think people don't venture to figure out or know or realize, because
Yeah,
these methods are out there.
yeah. And you know, rice is like, we make it so frequently all the time. So it's just, you know, you wash it real quick, do the measurement, and you know, you keep it moving, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's not something like you take a lot of time to make sure you get it right. It's just a part of the meal. You know, some people don't need to like measure things. They just kind of, you know,
Yes.
do their thing. They don't need measuring cups or
Right.
like, you know.
Now that works wonderfully in cooking. In baking, I will say though, whole other beast.
Yeah, I'm not much
You
of a
can't
baker. I feel
freestyle
like it's
as
so
much.
hard.
Because precision is the key. So for anybody who
Okay.
loves the freestyle approach,
Yeah,
doesn't translate as well.
yeah. I never gave baking like a big chance, you know.
Yeah.
I know
Well-
the few times I have, it's been difficult.
Well, I guess speaking of baking, you recently posted a video of you surprising your mom for her birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, Was there a cake involved?
There was not a cake involved.
There was not a cake involved.
No.
Because baking is not your thing.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Would you ever think to maybe give baking a cake a stab for somebody that you love?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you just need all these things that I don't have. You know, you need all the little mixer thing. I don't know. But that's what I feel like. You know, you need all these tools and the knowledge and all that. If I had someone with me, or maybe get on YouTube or something,
Yeah.
and learn something.
Well, you now have a friend who's a baker. So
I'm gonna call you.
Yes,
I'm gonna call you.
You may, if I'm far away, we can FaceTime
Yeah.
and I'll troubleshoot with you. What do you like sweets?
I love sweets.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your ideal birthday cake?
I don't know. I don't know much about cake. Some chocolate.
Well, what would you enjoy?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Chocolate cake, chocolate frosting.
Sure. Chocolate cake, maybe vanilla frosting, or like, I don't know. Tiramisu is good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not
it doesn't
too
have
like
to
versed
be-
on all those things, so
No, I mean,
You know.
it's whatever you would enjoy. It's your
Mhm.
birthday.
true. Yeah.
Your birthday.
Yeah.
In our mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good at planning and executing surprises? Was this kind of the first time that you did something like this?
This was the first time.
Do you like being surprised? Or would you prefer to do the surprising?
I'd rather do the surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, I guess it just depends. You know,
Yeah.
surprise is a surprise. So like,
Right.
you know,
we can think,
depends
like,
on the
what would
situation.
surprise be?
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, you had a long day and you're just looking forward to like chilling and being home, and now you have all
And all
these
of a
people
sudden-
at your house.
There's
I appreciate the energy and the effort for sure.
right. It's
You know
kind of
what I
a
mean?
double-edged sword in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
Because the intention is there and it's great.
Yeah.
But like if you're not in the mood, you're like, you could have told me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, in this case, like surprising my mom was like super cool. You know what I mean? It was dope.
I don't think that a mother would ever be disappointed or maddened by a son surprising them for their birthday.
Yeah.
So regardless of how maybe she was feeling at the time, whether she was wanting company or not, I think she was probably pumped about it.
She was, and she had no idea. So the day before, I posted a music video that I did, you know, and I geotagged that I was in Bushwick.
Right.
And then in the morning, I called her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sleeping. Call me later." You know what I mean? And she didn't call me back for a couple hours. So she had no idea. It was cool.
You pulled like a classic technological fast one on her.
I did,
You
yeah.
were like, yeah, Mom, it was geotagged and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
you know, you saw I was in
have to
Bushwick.
be
You know what I
there.
mean? So it was cool. Yeah, and then we ended up driving to Santa Cruz. You know, we had lunch over there on the wharf. But it was nice because I also haven't seen the ocean or the beach since I got here in January.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Talking about, you know, the beach and how it's quite different from moving from California
Yeah.
to coming here to New York, and you said that you visited Rockaway Beach. If you could paint a picture of the differences, how they compare, do you recommend that?
I do. It was nice. I had a good time. Well, there was a guy selling drinks, little
Oh.
mixed drinks, walking around. We met him on the train actually, so he was like super cool with us.
So you knew him already.
Yeah, kind of. You know, we're friendly. You know what I mean?
Did you did you buy any of these mixed drinks?
Did yeah. I
You
don't
did?
remember what.
Did you feel comfortable about doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed at a lot of outdoor events, I hear there's people selling those Nutcrackers and like those different.
What are Nutcrackers?
I don't know. I guess that's what they're called.
Well,
I
did
don't
you
know, it's
have
like-
one?
Yeah, I did.
What
They're
was
pretty
it?
strong.
you not
I had
know?
one that was like a Long Island like slushy kind of thing. It was like in a bag.
Oh,
You can mix it up and
like a plastic bag?
like a drink bag, I guess. I don't know.
What's a drink bag?
A bag that I don't know exactly.
I
how
didn't
to
know if this
explain
was
it.
like a California thing. Like
No,
you
it
know,
was like something I
a
seen
drink
out. Yeah,
bag.
it was something I seen out here. So
Oh,
you know, like he made all the drinks and he put it in this little bag and mixed it up.
wow!
Yeah,
How brave of you.
it was good.
What
Yeah.
do one of those go for? How much do those
It
cost?
was like $10, maybe something like that.
okay, and
Yeah,
worth
it
it.
wasn't bad. It was strong, so it was worth it.
You have a moniker Sweet Tooth Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions about this, but I think where I'll start is, where did that name come from?
So, my first name is Ray Anthony. Growing up, my dad's name is also Ray. So my family calls me Anthony, so that's where the Tony part comes from.
Aha.
And then, like, I don't know, I ate a lot of sweets when I was young. You know, I was really into, like, you know, Goodfellas and all those types of movies where all the mobsters had, like, cool nicknames. So it's just kind of something that, like, one day I think somebody might have said it or something, and it just kind of stuck, and I put out an album. It's called Sweet Tooth Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know. It sounds cool.
It does.
So.
Yeah. Well, and it comes from a part of you. I did not know that your middle name was Anthony, so
Yeah.
it does make sense.
Yeah, it's not just made up.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
it could be, but
Yeah, true.
and have its own meaning.
Yeah.
But this is this meaning.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Now, Sweet Tooth Tony, let's say that he is going to open up a candy shop.
Oh.
And as somebody who's, you know, has professed their love for sweets, like, what are some of the best candies that like a candy shop or a sweet shop could offer, or what would you be offering?
Definitely chocolate.
Definitely. Oh yes, we know you enjoy chocolate.
Yeah, I'm all about the chocolate.
Are there any particular, like, certain candy bars or candies?
I mean, I'm pretty basic with, like, I just like no chocolate.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So Hershey's Kisses and all those, like, basic
okay.
kind of milk chocolatey kind of things.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not too big on the dark chocolate.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would, did you ever go trick-or-treating as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that would be especially exciting if you got to get into your little goodie bag? That it was like, I know for a lot of kids, like for me, it's Reese's. That would be a
Reese's,
very
for
exciting one.
Twix.
Okay.
Snickers, those little small mini Snickers that you get at Halloween.
Yeah. Why the small ones?
I don't know. I feel like they just have a
Do they
different.
taste different?
A little bit.
I would believe that, actually.
Yeah.
I saw, like, it was an episode of one of these kind of shows that talks about how certain foods are made,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it is Reese's specifically. There is a slightly different formulation for some of their holiday ones, like the pumpkins and the Christmas trees, versus the cups. So you could, if you are a connoisseur, be able to tell the differences
Yeah.
between maybe a layperson or somebody who's not as interested, maybe not.
Yeah.
But if you love that particular treat, so there may be something similar going on with the Snickers.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the little ones, they're just making them a little extra special
I think so.
because
Yeah.
it's smaller, so they have to be like, let's make this count.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to love those. Nerds, Smarties. Those are like my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, who thought like giving candy corn out on Halloween is a good idea. I was never really big on that. It's like certain things you would get, like, okay.
Yeah. What are the? So you and I might differ on this because I think I enjoy a lot of the candies that people would figure as like reject ones.
Yeah.
What are ones that you would have no place in Sweet Tooth Tony's candy shop? Like, what are banned?
Candy corn.
Okay.
Black licorice.
Oh dear, I like that one too.
Yeah.
It's okay. Listen. I would be your customer regardless, but
I'll save those for you when I get them.
you're certainly an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
You like having your hand in a lot of different things. So I definitely foresee something like that being a potential thing in the future. And creative things it's no stranger to you. I saw a video where you were sewing something. Do you sew and fabricate things as well?
So I learned to sew during the pandemic.
Oh.
I'm really big on, like, you know, thrifting, garage sales, flea markets. So I was just at a garage sale one day and I saw a sewing machine and figured, why not?
And it worked?
You know? It worked. Yeah, it worked. I tried to sew, like, I tried to alter a sweater I had and it was terrible. Like, you know, the arm was like way too tight and I put it on.
Oh.
I felt like, I don't know if you, the Cosby Show with Theo had his sister make his sister made something for him and he put it on and it was all messed up. It was so bad I couldn't take it off.
Oh no, how'd you get out of it? Did you have to cut it off?
It was just like stuck to my arm. Yeah, I think I just had to, like, it took a while to take it off. You know
Oh
what I mean?
dear.
So from there, I
That
pivoted.
should
I
have been
started.
in the bloopers.
I know, right? I didn't want no one to know though, so I was like,
Oh,
"Alright,
okay,
let me
okay.
keep it cool."
Sure, sure, sure.
But I started making bags and like little things, but it became like very therapeutic to just sit there and sew. I got really into it for like a couple months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And did you ever think for a moment, like, I should make my own merch?
I was actually making so many bags that I didn't know what to do with them, so I bought like a bunch of patches with my logo on them, sewed them on, and started selling them.
Oh, you
It was
did?
pretty cool, yeah.
You are also an excellent chess player and teach chess
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I'm curious where that kind of started for you, playing, and to what degree you got so experienced and great that you were like, we need to teach the younger generation now.
So my dad and my uncles used to play when I was a little kid, so I learned how to play when I was young. In high school, I used to play a lot, and then I was going to this place, De Anza College in South Bay. I used to play on my breaks all the time. I just used to play, me and my friends, and I was over there just having a good time playing. And someone came up to me one day, and she was like, "Hey, I teach chess. We're looking for people." And it just happened to be something that I was good at. I was good with like kids, teaching kids, and I enjoyed it a lot. It worked with like going to school and trying to pursue music. It was like flexible with my schedule, and I ended up teaching chess for over 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, with the kids that you taught, were they excited to be there? Is it something that they wanted to do? Was there a mix of people who were there like, oh, my parent wanted me to come here?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, I try to like, read the room, engage it with the kids, and like if I notice that like they're not as into it, I try not to force it on them and figure out ways they can still have fun
Right.
and learn a little something.
Right.
But for the most part, kids are, they're excited about it. I try to make it fun, and I feel like I was, a little younger and a little more cool than some of the other chess teachers they might have had. So a lot of them gravitated towards me for that.
Yeah.
And I taught classes. I also taught private students who were like more like tournament, competing in tournaments and all that, more serious.
Did you ever compete like that?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I did some rated games and things
Wow.
like that.
Those
A lot
can
of
be
work.
very intense.
Yeah.
So I was good. This is a great transition for me. As you were just straightening up your shirt and I saw you come in, I was excited to see your Sade shirt because I know that she's a big inspiration for you. And, her music she's a legend, essentially.
Of course.
Now, because I like to manifest or put good energies out there, we're going to have a meeting for you and Sade. And this is going to be a collaborative meeting. So you guys are going to talk about, a new project or a song or something that you're going to work on. So it'll be like a dinner meeting.
Okay.
What's the scene like? What are we eating? How is this meal being shared between you and Sade? And what is this collaboration going to look like?
I think I would be so like mystified by just being around her. I would have such a hard time thinking straight, so I would need to be prepared.
Okay.
I mean, for one, I would definitely want to pick her brain on just the process, the longevity. Her band. Her name is actually Helen, I think. Yeah, I think her name is Helen.
I did not
And like
know that.
Sade is supposed to be like the name of her band.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So is it wrong then when people address her that way? But do people know to call her? Does she like being called Helen?
I don't know. I'm
have
sure
to
by now,
research
like
this.
people have been calling her Sade forever.
Right.
That's what I knew her as. It was just like this fun little like cash cab knowledge information that I picked up.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You taught me something just now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I'm very interested in like, especially like we're now in the 50 years of hip hop. It's such a young genre. There's not too many examples of how you can grow and, age with the music. You know what I mean? So as I've been getting older, this is something I've been doing since I was a teenager. So like I was always curious on like how do I grow older with music and still be able to do music and not be like the weird old guy trying to rap. You know what I mean? So I'm very curious like how she was able to stick around through all these different generations and still be relevant have older fans, younger fans. So yeah, I'm very curious about things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And do you know anything about her dietary,
I have
culinary
no
preferences?
idea. I have no idea.
It may be time to start researching.
I'm gonna research
because
that.
I'll help you out too.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
see what I can dig up.
I'm gonna call you up and have you, you know,
I'll
take
work
the lead
on
on
the food
that.
side,
Yeah,
and I'll
yeah,
make sure
yeah.
everything is legit and set up, and
Yeah.
she's very impressed. And then you can dazzle her with the music side of things.
Yeah, I'm
Your
just gonna try to
specialty.
not freak out and, you know, try my best to, you know, stay calm. And
Have you ever met anybody that you have been starstruck by?
yeah, I seen Stevie Wonder at a NAMM convention in California. And it was like everyone was trying to crowd around him, and I was just trying to stay back and just appreciate the fact that he was nearby.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But,
Sometimes I think that honestly, that's enough.
you know, yeah,
know,
especially if they get that all the time. I don't want to add to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on the receiving end, how would that be, that experience for you? Have there been any situations where people have approached you because they respect your music or they listen to you, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, you want to receive that, but maybe you're not in a space for too much of it? How does that kind of work on the artist's end?
I mean, for me, I'm just a Filipino kid from San Jose, California, and like to make music for a living is amazing. You know what I mean? Like there's so much you can listen to, so much you can be interested in. So if someone takes the time to like appreciate what I do, I'm excited about it. You know what I mean? So overall, like I appreciate it when someone does that, but
Yeah.
maybe it's a timing thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm with my family having dinner or a date or something like that, it might be, you know, a little bit different.
A different story.
But overall, I think it's cool.
Now, I don't know if it seems as if a lot of these things are autodidactic for you, but I don't know if you've been taught a lot of these things. You play so many different instruments, and I read you even play the didgeridoo.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I am fascinated by that instrument. First
Yeah.
of all, one, how and why? Like, how'd you get your hands on one? Like, and what made you? And when was this? I was blown away by this, so I just have so many clustered questions.
I appreciate
about
that you
it.
know that.
Sure.
I mean, so I
You
never.
don't meet a lot of people who play the didgeridoo.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
you
I
really
never
don't.
like learned how to play instruments in school or when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I started producing and making beats when I was like maybe 15, 16 years old. And I basically started learning all these instruments to play on my beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I forgot where I was. Maybe I was somewhere in San Francisco, and I just came across one at a store, and the person
at a
there
store?
showed me how to play it, and I just picked it up, you know. And I feel like I know how to play a lot of instruments, but I'm not, maybe besides piano, I'm not particularly like amazing at any one. It's almost like a Swiss Army knife where it's like, you know, you have a knife and a file and a nail cutter and scissors, but it's not the best knife, not the best scissors. I kind of look at my musicianship playing instruments like that. You know, I can play a quick guitar loop on a beat, but if you put me in a room with a band and I have to play guitar the whole night, I probably won't be able to do it.
Does that instrument in particular make its way into any of your music?
And didgeridoo?
Yes.
It has.
Oh.
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
Um,
Any song we should shout out for people to listen to hear
well,
it
I
in
did an
action?
album. I produced an album for an artist named Dirtbag Dan. He's from San Jose. I think the song might be called Sandcastles.
Okay.
So yeah, I played the didgeridoo on that. A lot of my older music, stuff that might not be on streaming and stuff like that.
Are there any instruments out there that would be something that you have not tackled yet that you would like to?
I want to be able to get into like string instruments.
Mhm.
You know, I had a violin for a little bit, but I wasn't too good at it. You know, cello, violin. Yeah, string instruments would be super cool.
That I feel like that's an interesting sentiment, because we also met with another musician, another musical artist, and he also plays like you a million instruments, and that was the one too, like an orchestral instrument.
Yeah.
Because how he phrased it was, it's the closest to like a voice, and I thought that was very poetic and beautiful.
Yeah, and there are no frets on a violin, so like you have to have good ear, you have to be really trained on your placement, and it's very technical, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's tough.
I think that this question is appropriate to ask
Mhm.
because there there is imagery of partaking in your videos, but what are your go-to munchies foods? Do you have any? I always think of the movie Half Baked. Have you seen it? Okay, and that always to me sets up such a plethora of options.
I've been big on like, you know, I like kettle corn.
A little salty sweet.
Yeah, salty sweet. I mean, you know, fried food, fries, and, you know, chocolate, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, like Sour Patch or like, you know, things like that. But like, yeah, fried food, fries, pizza, like, you know, it's kind of whatever strikes the mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now you're here in New York. We've got a lot of pizza.
I know.
So hopefully, I don't know if you've discovered any just yet. If you need recommendations, I also know have some of those. But
yeah, I'm gonna definitely take you up on some of those.
Okay, amazing.
I really like Rocco's in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
That was a good spot.
Any certain pizza that they have it there in particular?
I mean, my thing is I always want to get like a Sicilian slice and a grandma slice.
Aha.
Because we don't have the grandma slice in the Bay. I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very specific thing, and I feel like there are only a few places that are really doing it here, even too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rocco's then. They're doing it.
Yeah.
While we're kind of on the topic of munchies and partaking, another one of your musical idols is Bob Marley, and I know that he's no longer with us, but you are not just a rapper and musician, you are a producer. So with technology and AI and things like that, and maybe taking audio clips or unreleased music if there is of his, how would you produce a new Bob Marley album?
I wouldn't want to change anything about what Bob Marley has done. You know what I mean? I would just love to be able to take a look at it, analyze it, and see what he's done. But you know, I think like what he's done and the time frame when he did it was amazing. You know, I wouldn't want to change a thing. So if I could figure out a way to recreate things that he's done, or like learn from, you know, their approach and make something similar, that'd be cool.
Okay.
You know, or work with one of his kids or something like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change a thing. You know.
It's classic as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some things you just have to leave
Mm-hmm.
well enough alone.
Yeah.
And if it's perfect, then we say.
Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Ray, speaking of leaving things on a perfect note, I have enjoyed our conversation, our meal thoroughly. It's been a pure delight getting to know you and talk to you. Everything that you've accomplished is so impressive thus far, but I know, and I'm excited to stay tuned for everything else that you have on the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.